All right, it's media day, and we are talking with Monte Barrow from Nederland, and we're talking 9-5A Division II. Coach, let's talk a little bit about last year. The record didn't kind of show it, but it was a growing pains because you're going in a new realigned district, and if you look closely at it, you played a state semifinalist right down to the wire. They only lost by a couple points. You beat the teams you were supposed to beat, and you beat them pretty handily. Now it's talking about trying to get that next step. Talk about what you learned from last year's team being in this district and what you can do next year, this coming year, to maybe improve on that record.
Yeah, well, first off, the district we're in, very, very competitive district. Obviously, with Port Neches going to the final game, and you got Fort Bend Marshall, who's always there, and then other schools that have kind of gotten back to what they normally are in Texas City, Dayton, schools like that. So, but we were young last year. And that doesn't mean nothing for the next 2 years. We started 10 sophomores. So we hope that we see that pay off in the next couple of years. We're excited about that group and what they are mixing with the group in front of them, the group behind them. We had a smaller senior class this past season. Had some great kids in that class. There wasn't a lot of them. So that's why that was the youth. It wasn't about trying to build for the future. That's just that was what we had, and that was the players we had, and they were good football players. But being your first year on Friday night, and especially in Texas high school football, is not an easy task.
Yeah, you mentioned the 10 sophomores. That's a deal where, in your mind, and maybe in the coach's mind, you're looking for a certain level of improvement game by game, maybe week by week. Did you see that in most of those guys? And are you excited about their growth going into this coming year?
Definitely, and like you said, we saw that through that, and we preach to them right now. Those games are going to help you in the future, and just being involved and knowing what to expect and things like that. But the work they put in this off season is going to go a long ways, and they've realized that they've put the work in. They're still continuing to grow every day, and we need to see that throughout this off season.
Talk about some guys that we need to kind of keep an eye out for if people had their eye on this district and we're just looking at the Marshalls and the PNGs of the world and maybe missed a lot of your Bulldogs games. Just talk about some of the players that we need to keep an eye out for this coming year.
Yeah, well, defensively, we had a sophomore defensive end, and Albert Simon, that his body's just totally changed from just in season this year to right now, just through the off season in the weight room. We're really excited about the things he can do. We had two linebackers that started that were sophomores, and Ellis Walker, who's a pretty good sized kid. Right now is 6 foot, about 205. Runs. He was anchoring our relay team in track. So that's a guy that sits there in the middle that'll hopefully lead us for the next couple of years. And then we had three sophomores, in the secondary, outside linebacker, and James Ladner in the two corners. So, that defense has got a lot of experience on Friday nights, and they'll need it going into this next year. Offensively, we had our quarterback who ended up being a sophomore, in Aiden Sunday. Just that type of kid that you just like at the quarterback position, just absorbs everything you tell him. And he actually starting at safety for us this past season, and then halfway through the third game, non-district, he went in at quarterback and never came out. So he played the entire district schedule at quarterback for us. Got a lot of experience, especially for a kid who thought he was starting on defense and ended up being a quarterback. So with him and Hubert Thomas, our running back in the backfield, I think he's got a chance to be special for us. He's got that type of speed that, even the faster teams we played, he was running away from them, so that's exciting for us. Our biggest thing right now will be looking for an offensive line. We got 2 starters back. One was a sophomore. The other going to be a senior. He'll kind of anchor at Jeffrey Nguyen. So between that and then just finding guys outside that can make plays for us. We had a sophomore last year that ended up starting, KJ. He's got a chance to be. We just got to decide, if he's fits best for us on the slot or outside, or just move him around. But a lot of guys that got some playing time as sophomores, and but hadn't sat on it in the offseason. They're continuing to get better.
Sounds like you're pretty excited about what you might be having next year in the building of younger players. I talked to a lot of coaches about this, and you mentioned it earlier about how some of your guys are out there on the track, running track, anchoring your track teams. How important is that, especially for a district like this, where Marshall is just stacked with pure athletes, and you have to have a guys that can keep up with them, speed for speed. How important is it for you to get your guys out for track as well? Is it something that you have to push them to, or they kind of gravitate to it as it is?
Well, it's it's got to be something you love to do. I know that. We encourage them a lot. We have a lot of kids that play baseball. We have kids that play soccer. We really want our kids just to be multi-sport athletes, whatever that is. Now, the ones that don't play those sports that are in the spring, we really, talk to them about, hey, let's go to track. Even if you don't run in track meets, you're at track practice, you're running every day. Just learning how to run is a big thing. There's so many kids that don't understand the little bitty things that can knock off a couple of tenths of a second. When you go to track meets, you want to have guys that are out there running, because you're looking at the guys you're going to be playing next year a lot of times running against you, and your eyes kind of get big if you don't feel like you can compete with that.
Exactly. Hey, I appreciate you joining me today, Coach, and good luck. I know we're 4 months away, but good luck when the season comes around. Let's try to get some more wins on that ledger.
I appreciate you. Appreciate it every time.